Theo, how are you?
Good, thank you, Mariana. How are you?
Good, thank you. On behalf of ScreenSpec, thank you so much for sitting down and talking to me today.
You're very welcome.
Can you hear me all right?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Just wanted to make sure. First of all, I guess I wanted to ask you how you got involved with Ted Lasso. I mean, this is my first interview with you, and I know this show's already been on for 3 seasons, but how did it all start for you?
Yeah, it was kind of out of the blue. I had an email from my very good friend Alison Jones. She's this wonderful casting director based in Los Angeles, and she said Jason Sudeikis is going to call you. He wants you to cast his new show, and I was quite flabbergasted because I was a big fan of Jason Sudeikis, obviously. But yeah, I was really lucky. Jason reached out to Alison, knowing her, and said if I was going to use someone in London, who would it be? And she suggested me, and there we go. So it was all thanks to Alison Jones that I got the job.
Oh, wow. What drew you to the project? Was it just that Jason wanted to have you on as a casting director, or was it something else specifically along with it?
I mean, I would have said yes to anything he'd written, but it did help that what he had written with his co-writers was something really wonderful. The pilot script was just gorgeous and not quite. It turned out in so many different ways, but that little kernel being the pilot script was really sensational and funny and sweet and moving, and it was great.
Well, I'm incredibly glad that you took on the job. I mean, the alchemy that you managed to put together with this cast, kind of what was the casting process like, especially because it's an ensemble comedy? Can you walk me through that a little bit?
Yeah, they got me on a little bit early to really focus on Rebecca, which we did. Obviously, she is the female lead. So we spent a long time looking for her. And then we moved on to the ensemble. And it was seriously a case of um bring in your favorite people for the part, and a selection of because there was no prerequisites. We didn't have to have known people, famous people. We just had to have really great people, and with a lot of diversity across the core cast. And yeah, so we just started getting in really amazing people, and luckily a lot of them made sense.
So you mentioned that the first one you guys were looking for was Rebecca. What exactly were you looking for, and how did you guys end up with Hannah Waddingham, who turned out to be just a magnetic addition to this cast? I feel like because the show opens up with her character, she ends up being kind of like the centerfold in the end of the whole series. What were you guys looking for in Rebecca?
Yeah, well, I think we always knew that Jason was very clear that, she was number two on the call sheet, the female lead, vitally important that we got that casting right. There was at the beginning some studio preference to perhaps cast a known person, so it's especially known in the States. And so we did, lists where we checked everyone's availability and then talked about it. And, we made some straight offers to women who actually passed. Silly people. But then we were able to open the doors and, start actually auditioning for people, auditioning for the role. And yeah, it was quite a while actually before we landed on Hannah. I think she was actually originally a suggestion from Brendan or one of Brendan's friends. But anyway, and she came in and she was just totally the part. She just totally nailed it. And we flew her out to LA to meet Jason, and then that was it. They had a little chemistry read, and yeah, that was it. But it took a
Well,
while to get there. It took a while to get there. Sometimes casting roles of that significance does take a while, and you do see a lot of people.
I'm glad like serendipity and like you guys took your time finding the role because she really just added a lot of magic to the show along with the rest of the cast.
Yeah, I agree.
Which makes me wonder because you mentioned how a lot of the casting for this show was almost like winning the lottery. How was it, how important is chemistry for something like this, especially when you bring in Juno Temple and Hannah's chemistry with Juno and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, I think their chemistry is magical, and rare, I think, but also it is quite rare to for writers to properly explore, just a female friendship like that, the way they have. Um, so that's helped as well, the writing for them. But we didn't chemistry test them. It was just pure joyous luck that these two incredible women got on so well and work so well together on and off camera. They just are amazing together.
You also mentioned in another interview that part of your job is kind of learning and knowing performances. What are your, and this might be a big question, but what are some of your favorite performances for TV and film?
Oh gosh. Favorite performances for TV and film. Anything that Kristen Wiig does, I'm a massive fan. Yeah, her performance in Bridesmaid is pretty much second to none. Bridesmaids, isn't it? She's just totally amazing.
You mentioned
Yeah.
her, and I think of Barb and Star and how she did
Uh,
two roles in a single film, and it was just mind blowing what she did in that movie.
oh, she can do anything. She's so clever. But I think that I mean I just adore her. She's my favorite, but actor. But I think specifically in Bridesmaids, she feels so human. She feels such a like a flawed human going through, this awful patch in her life, and it just feels so real and so poignant, but also so funny. So that's why it's my favorite performance of hers.
I mean, as someone who can identify a lot with her character in that movie, it is great to see someone be funny and charming and charismatic, but also such a royal mess in a lot of ways, and being hateful towards like Rose Barnes' character and being like, yeah, this is a great goddamn lemonade, and I hate her for it.
Oh my gosh, but Rose Byrne's performance is also just amazing in that film. Again, she's someone who can do no wrong. She's an amazing performer.
And I guess finally, just what are some of your most memorable auditions and casting decisions and projects, and just something that really sticks out to you?
Well, actually, going back to topic, in Ted Lasso, I'm really proud of the whole cast. But this year, I'm so happy that Phil Dunster has been nominated for an Emmy, because I really, really love his performance, and I love how we got to cast him, because they actually met him and rewrote the role completely to suit him. We originally wanted the star arrogant player to be, well, that he was written as a South American person, but we couldn't quite find him, and we just kept going back to Phil. Well, remember Phil, I know he's English, but isn't he just the most amazing performer? Isn't he hilarious? And they did, yeah, and they rewrote the whole part to suit him, and I'm really, really proud of that, because I think that his performance, and especially the character arc, what he's achieved across 3 seasons, is really special, and I'm really happy for him.
Well, I mean, if you could let him know on behalf of everyone at Screen Spec that we were rooting for him since episode 1 of this series. I mean, there's just there, I mean, he kind of really does toe the line between comedy and vulnerability, and kind of he's just doing a lot in a single character, and we're really, really happy. Especially here at Screen Spec, we're huge fans of Phil, and we were just incredibly excited when we heard his nomination, like finally.
Oh, that is lovely to hear. Yeah, he's got such amazing range, Phil Dunster, and I'm really pleased by the end. By the end of season 3, he got to show everybody, different aspects of what he can do.
Um, was there any like it might have been unexpected, but the chemistry between Phil and Brett, especially this last season, how was how did that go down? Just was it just naturally and then the writers just kind of went in that direction?
I think so. I suspect so. But I mean, the truth is, there are no duds in that cast. They're all really wonderful, and they all really get on. They really do. Like, I wish I had some gossip for you, but I don't. But they all love each other so much. So the chemistry's already there. And yes, I wonder if the writers did say, "Oh, come on, let's kind of really use this chemistry in season 3." It's part of some of my favorite sequences in season 3 are with Brett and Phil, Jamie and Roy. They're so cute.
Uh, well, Theo, thank you so much for sitting down today and speaking with me. Everybody from our team at Screen Spec, we really love the show. We love the characters and the actors, and we're really glad not to hear gossip because the the friendships do shine on screen, and we can
Yeah.
see that. And congratulations on the show and on winning an Emmy for casting the show. This is incredible.
Well, thank you so much, and thanks for having me. It's been really nice to talk to you.
Same to you. I hope you have a great rest of your day.
Yeah, you too. Thanks, Mariana.